Next to me is the brand new second generation Hyundai Kona that will be arriving in Australia in petrol form in the middle of 2023. But this one isn't a standard petrol or a turbo petrol. This is the new petrol electric hybrid. And this is the car that Hyundai says is going to directly target the new Toyota Corolla Cross, as well as the Mazda CX-30 mild hybrid. And in fact, the Kona Hybrid is expected to be between 40 and 60% of total Kona sales sometime in 2024. So this is really the main event. We do know that the new Kona is going to be coming out in fully electric form as well, and I've got a video with that car on the Chasing Cars channel. But really, this grey hybrid next to me is going to be the bread and butter Hyundai Kona. So in today's video, we're going to take a walk around of the car. This is quite an interesting one because this is actually a relatively low-end spec. So most of the photos out there are going to be of really expensive Kona Electrics. This car is more representative of what a more affordable, cheaper Kona spec is going to look like in Australia when it arrives in the fourth quarter of 2023 in hybrid and electric form, standard petrols from the middle of the year. And I think the distinctive new look is immediately obvious right here at the front. We've got this horizon light stretching across the front end. This is relatively difficult and expensive to integrate, Hyundai says. We've still got some classic first-gen Kona touches, including these light modules lower down on the front, and we've got this very new styling here. And the reason why it doesn't look like a petrol car is because Hyundai started with the styling of the EV rather than the petrol and the hybrid. But let's take a look inside to see what's going on in there, because it's significantly nicer and more premium than the outgoing Kona. Chasing Cars, honest reviews of your next car. Brought to you by Direct. As I mentioned, this particular example of Kona is a more low-end spec compared to the electric, which I've also got a video of up on the channel. And you can tell that because in this interior, we are sitting on seats which are suede rather than kind of the more full-faced vinyl that you'll get in a top-end electric. But I've got to say, the seats themselves are comfortable, they're perforated, so they've kind of got a bit of passive cooling, and of course the rest of the interior is really impressive compared to the outgoing Kona, which always felt very bargain basement in terms of the harsh plastics, and that's something that we always marked it down on. A lot of that has been taken care of here. We still have hard touch doors, which is interesting, and in fact the dash as well, but a lot of the common touch points do feel a fair bit better than the outgoing car. Now, the technology is a big focus in here. We've got two 12.3-inch screens. We've still got hard buttons for your infotainment and for your climate, which I know a lot of people will love, including me. And all this space here has been freed up by the fact the automatic transmission shifter for the dual clutch, 6-speed dual clutch in this car, is up here on the steering column. In terms of outputs, the hybrid has a 1.6-litre naturally aspirated petrol 4-cylinder and an electric motor. Combined outputs are 104 kilowatts and 265 newton meters. The other engines in the range are a 110 kilowatt 2-litre naturally aspirated petrol non-hybrid, a 146 kilowatt 1.6-litre turbo non-hybrid. We've got this 104 kilowatt hybrid, and then the electric version has a 115 kilowatt short range and a 150 kilowatt long range. All of those will be coming to Australia, so we are getting the full line of Kona, including hybrid back home. But the interior at first glance feels bigger, airier, considerably wider. It's a bigger car, but a really good focus on tech with still a bunch of hard buttons. But at first glance, quality still feels like it's at the more affordable end of the spectrum rather than sort of a super premium option. As I mentioned, the new second-gen Kona is a bigger car. It's on an updated platform shared with the new Kia Niro, but it's a 60mm longer wheelbase, and you can tell that from the increased legroom here in the back. We've also got a fairly flat floor, not completely flat as it is in the electric, but you will get 3 adults across here if you have to, so it's a bit wider and a bit more practical than the old Kona. Nice view looking forward. We're sitting a little higher here. We can actually see through the mesh headrest, which is kind of cool, stamped with Kona. A few higher end touches. We've got map pockets, we've got USB sockets, but still no rear air vents in this car. This is left-hand drive, European spec. We'll see what comes to Australia, but that feels like a bit of an omission to me. It's in the back seat and around here at the rear of the new Kona that you can tell that this is quite a lot bigger. It's 175 mils longer, which is a big change, a much bigger change than you'd normally see generationally for an SUV like this. Now the back end is clean and tidy. We've got the Kona badge spelt out here in letters, and in fact the exhaust pipes are hidden for this hybrid model, just kind of further disguising the fact that it still does have a combustion engine. Another change is that the boot is considerably larger. Customer feedback said that the boot was too small in the outgoing car. It's 455 litres now, but also the opening is wider and taller, making it easier to get stuff into this car. You've got some extra storage here in the back. You've got some underfloor storage, no spare in this particular car. We'll have to wait and see what comes to Australia. This one is fitted with a power tailgate, however. Now, as I mentioned, the hybrid will be dropping in Australia in late 2023 alongside the electric. You'll be able to get a standard petrol when the Kona launches in the middle of 2023 back home in Australia. Prices are expected to rise gently over the outgoing Kona. Of course, this is the first time there's been a hybrid, so we'll have to wait and see how expensive this vehicle is. But Hyundai does say it's targeting the Corolla Cross, so you can probably look at how much that car costs as a bit of a guide. So this has been a first look and overview at the new Kona Hybrid. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Will you be signing up to order one of these vehicles? Let me know. While you're there, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.